Okay, so very quickly, you guys really wanted me to show you what's going on in the book here. So I will show you what's going on in the book here. I don't make videos like this because I just been doing this shit since like 2015. I've had a book like this, a bullet journal, if you will. I just had books on books because I have ADHD, and if I don't outsource my thinking to a piece of paper, I will not be able to think. So with that in mind, last year I had a really ugly book, and I'll show you really quickly what that book looked like here. That book, my intention with that book was just to keep on writing in the book and have it be really low pressure for me. Turns out for my brain, that didn't work because the book was so ugly that it was very demoralizing. So I just mostly didn't use the book because though it was functional, it wasn't actually functional because as an artist person, I like to have things look nice. So with that in mind, this year I am creating a very pretty book on purpose. My inspiration this year is botanical grimoire. Every month I'm gonna do a spread on like a little plant that's used in witchcraft, a brujeria, and I'm going to like write the uses for it so that over the year I learn about herbs and shit like that, because I like herbalism, if you will, if you're a New Zealander. Okay, so with that in mind, let's take a look at the book. Why not? So here she is. This is the book. It's a Dingbats notebook. I like Dingbats because they do a lot for the environment. I pay money and they donate some of it, and then this one is called, I don't remember the name of it, but they give you information when you open it about like a cool environmental shit. Cool. Here's my name on the front. These notebooks are really cute. I've never seen another person use them for bullet journals, but hey, I'm putting you on. I did use the pens though, and the pens suck because they get like marker all over the pen tubes, and then they'll mark up your whole journal with it. So don't use the pens. Okay, I skipped the first pages because I never use the tab index. I never use this index. I just prefer to use my own. So here's my key. Looks like that. Here's my title page. I got most of my ideas this year and based them off of Art and Bujo's 2023 spread. So thank you to her. Here's my like year at a glance. I went for a mandrake theme and sage because witchcraft, like I said, and also sage is good for warding off bad spirits and protection. You get it. This is one of my favorite spreads. I think it's really, really smart. On the right side, I have birthdays alphabetically, and I've written down all of the birthdays of people that are important to me, and that way if I have to remember someone's birthday, like let's say I'm like, shit, when's Olivia's birthday? I can look here and find it. But also here, I haven't filled it out yet, but I'm going to transfer these over to this side and write everybody's birthday by month, so that if I look at the beginning of the month and go, shit, it's March, whose birthday do I have to worry about? Then I can just look here and see whose birthday is when. I recommend doing it this way because it's easier for your brain. Okay, here's my moon spread. This is for manifestation purposes. Here's a lunar calendar. I recommend, what is it called? Can't remember the name of the calendar, but I had it last year and it was really great. So I recommend that calendar, but I also like to keep a very simplified version in my journal. Here's what different phases of the moon do and also their purposes for manifesting. This is my period tracker. This is extremely important for me because I take my temperature every day. Look that up. It's called the BBT system. You can use it to not get pregnant if you're a person who has periods, and also have the capacity to get pregnant somehow, whatever. Here's a mood tracker, so I go from like angry to feeling really good. I also keep like track of the full moons and the new moons to see how my cycle lines up. This month I lined up with a new moon. Cool. So my cycles are pretty long, so I only have about 11 period trackers in here. And then this one I just learned from, I'll insert the name here. I just watched a person do a video on this. This is all of the days of the year, and then when you have your period, you can like circle it in red or whatever you want to track. And then at the end of the year, you can see what your period looked like throughout the year, if you have one. This is a theme tracker. Got this one from Art and Bujo's throughout the year. I'll put my theme ideas. This is emergency reset, daily, weekly, and monthly. So this is like, if I'm feeling really bad, here are some things I can do. An ideal routine for the morning and the night. Here's some more little mandrakes. And then here, weekly spreads. Got this idea from Art and Bujo. I haven't finished filling it out because I'm just starting these spreads. So throughout the year, as I find spreads I like more, I'll fill these out too. A YouTube, Instagram, and Patreon tracker, because it's really good to celebrate your victories, any little accomplishments that you have throughout the year. So underneath here or along here, I'll write the date of when I accomplished a goal, and then also what I did to celebrate. Over here are my goals for the year: body, mind, career, and quality of life. And then over here, and then over here are manifestations that I'll write down throughout the year. This is one of my favorite pages just because these guys are so cute. This is another one of my favorite pages. I think this might be my favorite one. I meet a lot of people throughout the year, and I like to remember names and like details about everybody that I meet if I feel like I'll meet them again later. So here are people that I met at a knitting party recently. Here's also where I would put down like a friend of a friend that I met who told me about their dog. I write their name, the name of their dog, when I met them, just so when I see them again, I can make sure that I make them feel special a little bit, that I remembered them. And I do remember people. It's not cheating. It's just that like I like to make sure that I'm making people feel good. These are gift ideas for my partners, me, and other people. I also double glue pages in here for important things that I'll need to find at a glance. If I go like this, it opens right up to my calendar because I glued in extra pages here, so it's super thick. If I go like this, it opens up to birthdays, and then here's the moon calendar, and then here is the library. Now I would usually do shelves with books on it, like this, all the way down, but this year I decided for simplicity's sake to just write a list. I read a lot of books. I like to read books. I like to keep track of them. Okay, now we're at January. So my herb for the month is mugwort, which is common wormwood. Down here I'll write the purposes and the uses and how you can brew it and stuff like that. But wormwood I thought would be a good one because it's kind of creepy and kind of cold. Next month I'll probably do basil because February is like the peak of summer in New Zealand, and that's a nice summery herb. Okay, over here is my calendar. Down here is a YouTube and Instagram tracker. I got that idea, ripped it straight from Art and Bujo's. Over here I'm still working on this page, but here's a habit tracker, weekly habit tracker. I messed up and put 7 here. Should be 5 because there's not 7 weeks in a month. This is mugwort. This is what mugwort berries look like. This is a potion that I copied from Art and Bujo's November spread. And I'm just kind of trying to figure out what spreads will look like for me in my journal. Here's my last page. This is my setup for tomorrow, which is January 1st. I've got mugwort here and here, mugwort berries. This is, mugwort is traditionally taken as a tea or a tincture, so that's why I went with a potion. And then this is just like a regular weekly spread, Sunday to Saturday, and then to do and notes for the month. That's it. Here's what my book looked like from last year. I had the Arctic one of the Dingbats notebooks. When I tell you this shit was ugly, I never filled in the birthdays. Here's my year at a glance. Here's the moon calendar and astrological events. This is a grid spacing guide that I never used, so I left it out. Here's what my period tracker looked like. For reference, it's much cuter this year. I noticed that my graphs were never going above a certain place and my period was never reaching to the end, so I made the graphs much smaller this year. I added a mood tracker because I felt like that would be useful since it's tracking period symptoms, and then I just kind of put everything in boxes so it would be cute. Yeah, I ran out of space this year because I only had 10 period trackers for this year, so I added an extra one here. Here's what my goals pages looked like. This is the library I was telling you about where I would track books, wish list that I never ever used, so I took it out, suggestions and reviews that I never used, so I took it out, a little prayer and an affirmation sheet that of course I never used, and then here's what my months looked like. Now I am an artist by trade, so I do draw an awful lot in my journals. I also started doing this thing towards the end of the year where I would make a page of what I wanted for the new moon, and I would call them by their Native American names. Strawberry moon for June, beaver moon for November, hunter moon for October, etc., etc. I spent the last 40 pages in my journal planning my new journal, which was cool, useful, but that's what's going on. So that's what it's like to keep a bullet journal, a book, if you're me in my life. That's what I use it for. If you want, I can make more videos like this to let you know about them, but you were asking, so that's just a very basic rundown of my books, my bullet journals, I guess. I use them every day because, like I said, I got an ADHD brain, so if I don't use a book to write stuff down, I will not remember anything. I actually have a lot of notebooks and journals to write stuff down for that purpose. It's the only way to stay on top of shit. But that's it. I hope you make one too. If you do, send me a picture. Here's my Instagram. DM me. Bye.